Hi, my name is Beth Hiley with Board Game Geek TV here at The Gathering 2012, and I'm sitting down once again with Sean Brown of Eagle Griffin and Fred Distribution Games.
Hi, Beth.
Hi again. And at this time, we are looking at Pirate Dice, which is still in prototype form, but you guys have been so kind enough to give us a sneak peek using the prototype here. And this one I actually haven't looked at myself, so I was watching this from afar, so I'm very interested to see how this one goes.
Wonderful. Well, this is a design by Clint Huron, who did Robo Derby Express, which has a little nice BGG tie-in. It's one of the top most rated print and play type games out there right now. And we really like the system. Clint's a great guy to work with, and we decided let's take that system and theme that he had and throw it in with pirates, throw a little bit of drunkenness and some cursing, add a little bit of dice rolling, and we feel like we have a winner.
And the makings of a fun Saturday night.
That's true.
Many times over.
Fantastic. Fantastica.
Fantastica!
Wrong game, different plug. Anyway, so in Pirate Dice, we'll have some screens here that will look like sails, which unfortunately I don't have in the prototype, and I apologize. But for purposes of the demo, it would be better if you could see what I was rolling. So what you're going to do on a turn is you're going to take your 5 dice, and you're going to roll them, and you're required to take at least one, but you can take as many as you like, and you're going to take them over here to your mat, and you're going to lock one of these into one of these phases here. You get to choose where you want and in which order, and maybe if I really liked these rolls, I might take 2. If there was something that I rolled that I didn't like, I could choose to throw it up here to this anchor, and what the anchor means is that my captain's not going to execute that order. He's not actually going to do what I asked him to do. But as long as it's on the wheel, he's going to ask the crew to do this. So I do something like this. I can then pick these dice up and re-roll them again, looking for something a little bit better. And I can do this again for a 4th and final time, picking something like this, moving something over like so. How this would work is Beth would be doing the same thing. Let's just assume she has 4 things here rolled.
All right.
She's going to program.
So I am allowed to program more than one.
You can.
It's all right. So we'll say I'm perhaps moving forward a lot, and then I am just going to blaze a path in one direction, quite literally.
All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to call off my number, which is the little number up top, and my number says it's 130.
And mine says 140.
So you would get to move first, and you would get to move forward 3 squares.
3 squares. 1, 2, 3.
I have a move forward 2, so I'm going to move forward 1, 2. We go into the second action here. I have a forward move of 120.
I have 110.
All right, so I would get to move first, and unfortunately there's a coral reef in front of me, so I ram into it. But it doesn't cause me any damage because I'm going at low speed. If I were going at ×2 speed or ×3 speed, I would take damage to my boat. And then I also have a little order here that says fire guns. So I would shoot from my port and starboard side. There's nothing to shoot at or hit, so I miss and I curse at Beth because she went too fast. So then you would execute your second action.
I also run into a reef, but moving at slow speeds. I am safe.
No damage. So then we would go to the next round here, which I have as a 140.
And I have a 145.
So you would get to move first.
Sadly, I feel I'm in for some trouble being still stuck at this reef.
So you are hitting this with ramming velocity,
Oh.
so you would actually do 2 points of damage to yourself.
So I'm guessing I will predict that I'm moving down to the 4 side of my dice.
This is correct. And lots of interesting things happen with 4. This die that you didn't roll is now removed from the game, and making your options a little bit tougher. I also went forward 3, doing 2 points of damage to my ship. So I am also going to be taking my last die and pulling it out. And then we get to the 4th, which I have an 80.
And I have a 105, and my forward trek path did not work out so well, as I still am stuck in front of the same reef, but luckily take no damage this time.
All right, and I have a drift to the left. So my boat's going to drift to the left. And at this point, we would grab our dice.
-1.
-1, re-roll, and at least pick 1 for a reprogram. Obviously doing this all simultaneously behind our screens. Re-rolling as much or as little as we would like.
And I'm guessing sort of re-rolling at our own speeds.
Absolutely. And I really wanted a U-turn apparently, since I rolled it 4 times in a row.
Now I'm noticing that there is a difference between a drift And a turn.
Yes, a turn, you're just going to make a 90-degree turn in your space. A drift, you're actually going to side over a little bit. So again, we have very similar commands that we had previously. I moved forward and shot. That was a priority of 115 to your 20. You were doing a left-hand turn. In the second impulse, I did a 105 move, straightforward.
Now I have a barrel, which we haven't discussed yet.
So you have rum. What pirate game would be complete without rum? So the rum command is that you are throwing rum over on my boat to get my crew drunk, and therefore I don't actually get to execute this die just yet. I have to take this die and re-roll it, and I am stuck with the command of my drunken sailors. So instead of moving forward, I actually turned to the right. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Considering I totally did not know what that die meant, that was apparently the perfect move to make.
It was very, very perfect.
I blame you entirely for having not taught me the game before the demo on camera.
That's how I roll. Literally.
Apparently, yes, literally.
So anyway, play would continue like how we've done with movements. The ultimate goal here is we're racing for this treasure chest die. And once somebody picks this up, they pick it up, and they actually get to add it to the number of dice that they get to roll each turn. So if I were rolling my dice, I could pick and choose to use the treasure chest. This is really, really effective when you start getting a bunch of damage, and it gives you some different options. And the only really other super awesome, cool die that we didn't talk about was the anchor die, which in a two-player game, it's just always against your opponent. But in a multiplayer game, you turn it directionally. And if I have that command up, it forces you to slide your command to the locked position.
Which, speaking of, how many people does this play up to? 2
to 4 players. Yeah, and game comes in around about 30 minutes. And we have multiple different tiles, so you always start out with a start tile, you always have a finish tile, and then you always draw 2 tiles randomly. And of course, if you want to play longer games, you can put in more tiles. But it's sort of the beauty of it is you can play a fun, fast experience in 30 minutes.
And preferably on Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Arr.
Arr. So thank you, Sean, once again.
Thanks,
You're at the gathering.